Welcome to the 100-Fold Life Podcast.
What's happening? What's happening, family? Welcome to another episode of the 100-Fold Life Podcast. I'm your host, Keontae, and I got the great gentleman in the building. What's up, Mr. Impetus, Mikhail Rip Taylor? How you doing, fam?
How you doing, man? I think I'm gonna change my name to the Credit Goat, man. That's my new name,
Credit
man.
Goat. So no more Mr. Impetus, the Credit
No
Goat.
more Mr. Impetus. I'm going to Credit Goat from here on out, man. I'm riding that out.
All right.
But I'm doing well.
Sir. Yeah. All right. Before I go ahead and give the nickname, Mr. Kendall Pipes, you making a change on here too? We got a new change.
I'm one chain. You two chains. I'm one chain.
I don't know, man. I think he like Kendall West. I think that's about to be his name. Kendall West, because he got the Kanye lick going on over there. I like it though. Kanye. I like it, man.
Nah, that's dope though. How you feeling, Kendall?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good.
This man asked me how I feel.
Faking it till I make it.
There we go. I did ask you. I said, how you doing, fam? Come on now.
My ear was hurting last week, and I gave nothing but value when I hurt. Yeah, I was out there like Drew Brees, a little hurt, but I still was out there. So you know.
How that's been? Did it start getting better like soon after that, or what's up? How that?
Man, you know, I'm not gonna lie when they say when a man's hurt or like sick, he turns a baby. Because I was my ear, like you know. But man, you know, it felt like something was in it the whole time. Like it felt full and like I couldn't really hear. And then it started like draining. So when it was draining, it was getting painful. And man, ear infection, earache. I don't know if it's infection or not, but I know when I went to the doctor, he said it was like allergies and stuff like that. Told me to take some Flonase, things in that nature. So it did hurt a little bit, but you know, I didn't let that stop me. You know, I still had work to do. As an entrepreneur, you don't have time to take breaks. So
that's it. No off days.
No off days.
I feel that. That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, glad everybody doing good on that front then. And yeah, just talk to me, man. Catch me up on the weekend. You know what's going on. What's been different or whatever for you guys lately. What's up, Kendall?
Yeah, man, it's been good over here on my end. You know, we got less than 3 weeks till the baby comes. So you know, we nesting over here. You know, and got a new project every other day. So we, you know, we nested. You know, she wanted to remodel the master bedroom, and you know, the bed is too high. She wanted a lower bed, and so we've been doing some shopping and doing some stuff. I've been assembling IKEA furniture. Man, IKEA furniture is like the worst, bro. Like it's cheap and it looks nice, but man, putting this stuff together is like, oh my gosh.
A B C E D E E.
Right, you got all these parts and just man.
TF, T5, T6 screw, T3 screw. You're like, man,
bro,
all this for a cabinet?
I'm telling you. Yeah,
that's funny. So shopping for a bed, man. I'm shopping for a bed too right now, man.
Yeah. So you know, we over here balling on a budget. So you know, finding a bed that's nice, that's affordable is not an easy task. So you know,
right.
But yeah, she finally found something that she liked. You know, so anyway, you know they say happy wife, happy life. So
you probably sell that plant behind you. You see that plant behind you? Sell that, and then
Bro, I gotta sell by 1,500 of these to get a bed.
I was about to say how much you think that's running for.
I mean, man, you never know. Put it on the internet. You never know what you can get. But we can set you up a GoFundMe or do like a chicken dinner for you.
Hey, get that red beans and rice plate. The fried chicken and the cornbread.
I got you. No, they ain't getting the cornbread because they already getting the fried chicken. They got to have one or the other. We can't get them both.
Right. Yeah, man. But no, we just getting ready for the kiddo, man. And we still trying to come up with a name, man. Like, I don't know what it is with me and naming my kids, but like with the twins, I didn't think I landed on the name until like about a week before. And it's kind of the same thing again. I don't know. Maybe I think it's just because I think a lot about a name. Like names mean a lot to me. So I'm just like, you know, you don't get no do-overs with a name.
Right.
Like, I guess when they get older, they could change it. But I mean, like who changes their name, you know?
Yeah, it could be. But David Michaela, man, you know, I mean a lot to you and everything. So you do mean a lot as me making honors and you know, having value to you and your family. I'll be honored for her to be Michaela. Because I wanted Maya's name. It was either Maya or Michaela, right? So we went with Maya Renee, or it was Michaela something. I
Well,
don't know what
you
kind
just stole all the shine. Both of your kids got M's except Jade. So I mean,
Yeah, but I mean that's
Right.
how I wanted it. You know, I kind of
Right.
got
Well,
one Jade.
my family does that too. Like, so pretty much since like my
Yeah,
grandmother, so like
amazing.
my grandmother, all her kids' names start with S, and then all my aunts, uncles, all their kids' names start with the same letter. My mom did the same thing. So it's kind of like a thing in my family.
Is it the same letter as your mom, or
No, so my mom went with all K's.
So that's what I was saying. All of his is all M's, and
All
he an M.
M's. But he an M,
Yeah.
right?
So
True.
he just stole the shine.
Yeah, he just trying to
Well, I didn't want a junior, so I still wanted the M. And actually, he would have been MRT, but my uncle, that's really close to me, passed away during his time when Casa was pregnant. So I gave him my uncle's middle name. So he's MAT. But if not, they would all be MRT. So Maya Renee Taylor, it is Marcus Anthony Taylor.
Hey,
But
bro, you gotta keep the legacy moving, bro.
I was about to be like George Foreman. All my kids about to be named George and Foreman. So y'all lucky. Y'all lucky. I didn't name them all. Mikhail and Michael all through the line. They're like, man, what's his name? Mikhail, Marcus, Mikhail. Oh yeah.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad Marcus is Marcus.
Yeah, he got his own identity though, man.
Yes,
and the name Marcus mean warrior, so he's definitely. Whew, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
Putting that work in.
Hey, matter of fact, you asked me how my week went, right?
Yeah.
So we went to Austin today, and I brought him a leash, the backpack with the leash.
I saw that. Terrible.
Man, I think my wrist, bro, my wrist hurt so bad. The dude's like yanking me. I'm like, oh man, hey, shoot. I'm like, oh. So it does work, but now I have this feeling inside me, right? I'm a parent now, and if I used to look at other people with the leash, and I was like, man, how could you put your kid on the leash? And I broke down and put my kid on the leash, and man, it's like the best, worst feeling you ever can have. Because I'm gonna tell you why. All right, stay with me. We went to H&M, right? We're shopping. I got him on the leash. We're walking around looking at clothes. A lady brings a service dog into H&M, right? He pets the service dog. When we leave from him petting the service dog, he gets on all fours like a dog and is like trying to get me to walk him. Like, bro. And then you got all these people looking at me like, your son's on all fours, like trying to walk under the clothes like a dog.
He was just trying to follow that lead. Like, all right, I got this thing back here yanking my neck. Can't go nowhere. Might as well get on all four. I might get a treat.
So I say that to say it's a good or bad feeling. But to recap my week, man, I'm gonna go ahead and be honest with you. I've been blessed in a position in our company to be interacting with a lot of people in the credit department, and just me helping the people get into our program, the process, reaching back out, seeing the results that we're getting from our clients. I think that that for me, for my week, it's been great. I think I have nothing else to say about it. I wake up every morning and I get to see, we're seeing some type of result, whether it's small gains, big gains. And that right there just makes me want to keep going, just looking around us, looking at our company, looking at the growth it's making over just, let's look at the last month in our company where we went from starting this podcast. What is the episode this is that we're on right now? Number 4. That's a big milestone to be having a podcast 4 weeks. So my week is good, man. Anytime I get on the screen with you two ugly mugs, I can it's been a good week for me. So
yes, all right, that's what's up. I actually did a little bit of traveling, and I'll get in that in a minute, but I know I met up with someone out of state that's in the program, and they kind of gave me an update as far as, they was trying to get into a house. They went ahead and moved forward, just to kind of push up their timeline and stuff like that. And they saw the progress of where we got in the short amount of time they've been in the program. And he was like, man, the mortgage lender is like, you guys look good then, and kind of proceeding. He was just like, man, I couldn't have done it without y'all. So,
That's
that
what's
That's
was
up.
huge.
that was dope to hear and stuff. And soon gonna be working on
At
that
home.
house, and we gonna be
So you
hey
know what we should do?
get
I've
that
been thinking, man.
testimony, huh?
Not only testimony, you know what I'm thinking? We got to take it up a notch, man. People that buy houses, we might have to fly out there to the house, take a picture with them, like, we
That'd be
made it.
dope. That'd be
I
Right.
dope.
think we
Come
should
on.
definitely look into, especially the ones that's local. We should
Yeah,
definitely
Right.
start taking pictures with them in front of their home and just,
Yeah.
being part of that process. Man, you know
It's
what
a
it is to
big
put
deal,
somebody
man.
in a house.
Yeah,
That's really
that's
bro.
blessing
huge.
somebody, man. That's really blessing somebody, putting somebody in a home, a roof,
Yeah,
because that's equity, that's home ownership, that's
Right.
setting up inheritance for their kids to come behind
Right.
them.
Right.
Man, I
That's where the
mean,
generational wealth starts, man. You got to own
yeah,
stuff.
yep.
Yeah.
that's what's up. So I know, kind of on that for me, I know a little bit of a different background for me. I'm mobile this week on the 9 to 5. I work in athletic communications for Texas State. So I'm over basketball's tournament time. So we made a trip out to Florida.
March
And
Madness, huh?
well, yeah, but we got to win the tournament before we officially get in there. But on the men's side, they did win the regular season conference championship.
Hmm.
So we're going into the tournament with some momentum, and we'll see. The next few days, gonna be out here in Florida, and we'll see if we get that ticket to the big dance. So that's exciting.
I hope you get it, man. Because
Yeah.
you got to keep going with them, right? You got to keep riding with them.
Yeah. So
Oh
Facts.
yeah, and companies. Oh yeah, man.
Be
Definitely
great.
hope y'all get that, man. I mean, for our company, I will say, man, like, man, I hate that you have to be tied up, but for the experience,
Yeah.
because you
That's
can't
what's up.
always get that experience. So, and
Right.
the exposure is big too.
yeah.
Right.
But that's a good thing about this day and age in business, and kind of what COVID propelled even more business too. Now you're not confined to being in the office and stuff. So
Right.
I got the tools with me. We was doing work really before we got on this podcast. So
Yeah.
we still getting it done for sure.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, real quick today, I just wanted to ask you guys. I came across a few different podcasts and different things that I was listening to, and it got me thinking really about us, but I wanted to really get on like building a team and
Hmm.
the importance of it. Is it beneficial? And really, how do you do it? And we can take those little bits by bit and go into this podcast. But one of the things that I posted up earlier in the week was that just because God told you to do something, don't mean that He says you got to do it by yourself.
Mm.
And then that really led me into, oh snap, gotta have a team. You can't expect to do it all on your own. So
Yeah.
I want to start with you, Kel. And this, even though it's a general topic, obviously we can talk about like specifics on building teams in different areas and how you might do that. So what say you as far as the importance, or is it even important to build a team?
Definitely. I think it is definitely important to build a team. And it's funny that you say that because I'm gonna be honest, let's look at our company now. When we look at the growth we're going at, the rate we're going, we sit back and just had a meeting with each other talking about what we need to start implementing and who we need to start implementing to make sure that we're managing operations in our company correctly. And then I look at it in a different perspective. When you say team, I start thinking about like when you get into, we just talked about a guy with home buying, by him hiring us as his credit specialist, right, to help him get his credit situated and build his credit, obtain credit, clear his credit report up. He has a realtor or a lender that he's working with, right, to help him get the mortgage for the home. And he has probably a realtor that he has to help him obtain that home. And through that process, so he's already built himself a team for him to get into his home. So that's important. So when I think about it, I'm not even getting to the sports side of things, but when I think about just our general life and things that we do, you need a team in all type of areas. Not, and even if you're not in home buying, even if you're not in business, just for your personal self, right? You need a team. You need an insurance agent. You need, there's all types of you got to build a team just so you can grow yourself to the next level. For me, I definitely think you need a team. There's a lot of tangible things that you can do to have a perfect
Right.
team, but I definitely think a team is very important in my eyes.
Yeah. What
Yeah, for
about you,
sure,
Ken?
man. Yeah, team, man. for me, I've always kind of been a very independent person. You know, pretty much my whole life. I'm a firstborn. You know, I got a lot of younger siblings behind me, and sometimes, you know, us firstborns, like we typically do become very dependent or independent. You know, we have younger siblings that we end up having to look out for, and so it just kind of puts you in a certain mindset growing up, to really just kind of fend for yourself. So when you get older, even when you get married and stuff, like I think one of the things for me was like figuring out how to be on a team with my wife. I think I always wanted a team player, but I think some of the things, and you guys, y'all work with me, right? We're in business together, so I'm sure y'all see it. I'm very much like in my head of like the vision that I have and how I want a certain thing to be done. And so sometimes instead of me like coming together with somebody to make it happen, like I'll just get it done. Right. Like I'll just like you may not even know that I'm doing it. And then I'll just be like, oh boom, I did this thing. But sometimes though, what I realize is that like you get in this world where you're just doing your own thing, but you're not really stepping back to see, okay, how could I be partnering with somebody in this area or that area to make this thing better, or to get this thing done faster, or to get it done more efficiently.
Right.
And so that's something that I am self-aware, and I know that that's something that I need to grow in. But you know, with all of your weaknesses, right? Like you have to analyze yourself. You have to constantly work on it. Just because you know that you struggle with a thing doesn't mean that you're just knowing it doesn't improve it. You know what I'm saying? And I I had a friend in college, and you know, she used to always be like, "Well, I'm just keeping it 100. This is how it is. This is how I am. This is how I feel. This is how I think." And I'm like, yes, okay, you are very self-aware about how you are, but just being 100 with the way you are, that doesn't mean that you're actually bettering yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like some people are like, okay, I'm like this. Okay, great. Kudos for you. You realize that this is how you are, but is that the best way to be? Is that really ultimately helping you get where you want to go? So I think for me, instead of being like, oh, I'm a lone wolf, or oh, I like to do things on my own, or I like to be autonomous, I'm working on how to open myself up to say, hey, can you do this for me? Hey, can you help me with this? You know, and I always like to go back to scripture, because that's for me, that's my center, that's my ground, that's where I get my wisdom from. Is one can put 1,000 to flight, two can put 10,000 to flight. And like when you sit there and you think about that, okay, if one could put 1,000 to flight, two could put 10,000 to flight. Wait a minute, that's 10x. It's not two coming together to put 2,000 to flight. Two coming together to put 10,000 to flight. So that just lets you know that when you put your team together, when you start linking up with other people whose genius matches your genius, now you can start doing exponential things. Now you can start accelerating and kind of taking things to the next level. So, and that's something that I always strive to do in our company.
And that's kind of leading with a question that I was going to bring up as far as what's the benefits in teaming up with someone. So I'll let you go with that, Kel, because I know Kendall just hit it really, good with the 10x basically.
Yeah. He pretty much said it. You can pretty much what you can do solo. You can go further together than you can by yourself,
Right.
and that goes with a lot of business. I don't know if there's a business out there, and mark me if I'm wrong, that can excel just solo, like a solo business. Because even like your sport, even if you play like golf, you still got to have a golfing coach, a swinging coach, right?
Yeah.
Even there might be a single sport. So you always got to build people around you for you to help you grow you in different areas. So when like Kendall just said, together we can 10x it. I mean, look at our company, right? I keep going back to it. Like, look at us. We all specialize in different areas in our company. Um,
Right.
I don't know if we will be at the same level of where we're at right this moment. Let's be honest. If I was doing our company right now by myself, I wouldn't be as far as I am without you two. And I feel like that the same way, vice versa, because we
Yeah.
all have our strengths and we all can go somewhere. But by us three coming together, you have to play your role and just do your role as best as you can and help each other out. Where one person lacks, you can always catch it. So in our company, if I'm lacking in a certain area, y'all two can catch it and we don't look bad at all. To where if you're
Yeah.
by yourself and you lacking maybe systems, or you lacking organization, or you lacking timely
Right.
manner, or things of that nature, when you have other people, and then you get held accountable. Um,
Yeah.
if having a team is getting held accountable, I think that's another big part of it. and we see it in sports. We see it in our regular life. We see it in a team with our wives.
Right.
The wife's our teammate, right? And my wife holds me accountable. If I say, "Hey, look, I'm gonna take the trash out when I get home," hey, you got home. I know you're about to kick your shoes off, but you just told me you're gonna take the trash out.
Right.
So being held accountable is another big part of it. I think that you can benefit from it.
Yeah, I want to hop in there too on the business side. You were talking about like from the perspective of an entrepreneur, right? And you mentioned like a solopreneur, somebody who's in business by themselves. Like there's a difference, and I know this can be a little controversial. Like there are different views on this, but there's a difference between running a business and being self-employed.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like somebody who said, like, I was self-employed, like before we linked up, you know what I'm saying? And we're doing like, I was self-employed. I was an independent consultant working in IT. I worked for myself, but I also worked by myself. So if I don't show up, if I'm not sending out invoices, if I'm not billing time, I'm not making money. Right. But that's not a business, right? A business is when I get up, I'm making money. When I take my wife out to dinner, I'm making money. When I lay my head down on my pillow at night, I'm making money. Why? Because I put systems and people in place to create an actual business. I've created something that is self-sustaining. I've created something that's an asset that I could sell. Like when you're in a business where all your revenue depends on the work that you do personally, you can't sell that. That's not an asset. You know what I'm saying? That's a job. Now you don't have a boss, you're your own boss, but that's a job. And so I think one thing too and I think it's a great, and I'm not knocking, right? Like I said, I was in this place, right? I was self-employed. So I'm not knocking being self-employed, but I think also when we think long term, we need to think about how do you get from being self-employed to actually being a business owner.
And I would venture to say then, even technically with the success and stuff that we're having in hundredfold, that technically we're in a job still.
Right.
We're not necessarily
We haven't even crossed that exactly. You know what I'm saying? We're still working our 9 to 5s. We're still trying to build out this business, but ultimately the goal is and the vision is for us to build out a team so we can start now doing some other things and revenue is coming in while we're doing other things that may not necessarily be revenue producing, but they're making way for revenue. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we're building, we're architecting, we're being that visionary to take things to the next level. And to be honest, you can't never get to that level if you don't have a team.
This episode of the Hundredfold Life Podcast is brought to you by Credit Rescue from Hundredfold. Credit Rescue specializes in helping families improve their credit score and take control of their financial futures. Credit Rescue also offers a secure credit card to help build your credit with positive trade lines. Visit www.livehundredfold.com or call us at 512-777-0427 for more information. Credit Rescue. Better credit will make you do a happy dance. Let's say we have some listeners that's like, okay, y'all have made some pretty valid points about, building a team, but now how do I actually go about building that team? Okay, what would you say is, and you don't gotta give all of them at once. We could ping pong it around.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
nah. I'm about to be like James Hart. I'm putting up 60 points tonight. And it's funny that you asked that question because once again, I go back to myself. I go back to what we do and everything. And when I think of a team, identify your weakness. Identify what you're not good at. So the first thing you want to do is identify your weakest points and don't even take your strengths because it's not. You can get somebody that can run with you and y'all can be strong, but if y'all missing that weak link at the bottom, it's going to crumble, right? So I think that the first thing you want to do is identify your weakness, and then you look for a person that's strong in your weak spot, and that's how you start to build your team. But I'm not going to go too much deeper than that because Kendall's shaking his head and he ready to. I'm gonna pass the ball. I'm gonna be LeBron James.
When you talked about weaknesses, it made me think about doing a SWOT analysis, which stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. That's something that's really always good to do from a business perspective. You know, if anybody, you know, is done like a business course or anything like that, you know, that's something often that you hear about. But, you know, it's really good to do that because it allows you to really analyze, you know, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, and also what opportunities are out there for me to capitalize on. You know, so like what Kel said, you know, yes, identify your weaknesses, find people who are strong in those weak areas, because that's like low hanging fruit. You know what I'm saying? If you can find somebody who's strong where you're weak, then that's like instant. That's like an instant leveling up right there. But then when you get to take your strengths, hone those strengths, you can eventually get to the point where you're outsourcing those strengths. Because when you outsource your strengths, now you can start taking advantage of opportunities. Like
Yeah.
if you just focusing on your strength and doing what you're strong at, like let me just say, Kel, you phenomenal at sales. You the GOAT with sales. You killing it with
Thank you.
sales. You
Thank
know,
you. Thank you.
yeah, you
Thank
know,
you.
you're awesome at sales, right? But if you're
Yeah.
spending all your time on the phone, like when are you gonna get to a point to be able to grow and scale and to do some other things? So the key is to like hone those strengths and then get to the point where you can outsource those strengths. You can duplicate yourself. You can teach somebody else to do something that you're strong at,
Yeah.
and then now you can start hopping on opportunities.
So like build out a sales team is what you're saying. Like so
Exactly.
since I'm good at sales, I build out a sales team, right? And then we take the sales team and say, okay, I still can manage it, and then I got to go
Right.
find out what opportunities out there for me to grow with. So that's deep. Yeah,
Exactly. So
I
yeah,
like
so
that.
now right, then you got a sales team. So let's just say you find a new opportunity out there. All right, right now we're selling credit repair, right? But there's always new opportunities, right? And our clients are always telling us, oh, hey, I need help with this, I need help with this, I need help with that. So those are opportunities that you can go and capitalize on. That's a new line of business or a new stream of revenue that we could build up. And now you've already outsourced your strength in sales. So now all you got to do is say, hey, we got a new product. Let me train y'all on how to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So now you're talking about something that's scalable. So you could just start capturing new opportunities all the time because you've been able to outsource your strength. You multiplied yourself. You've gone from being a solopreneur to really being an entrepreneur.
And one of the things because I think all of those are like really good and valid points. But I know speaking to some of my own experiences, there's still some other people who probably got the idea and stuff like that. But what I would say is one of the biggest things to start building that team is just to get started.
Yeah.
Like if you just actually start what you're trying to do, you're going to end up attracting the people that need to come on board. And how I saw that is what actually happened with myself with starting what was Kingdom Financial Solutions, and it was one by myself at first, and then bam, here comes Kel, and then we see his strengths and what he brings. Bam, here comes Kendall. He got the strengths that me and Kel don't have, and it just all fit in that. So, but it wouldn't have really been in motion until somebody got started. And I remember even when the way Kendall ended up really coming, it was like, hey, what y'all doing?
Right.
He just saw us doing it.
Y'all was out there making noise on social media, and I was like, "What these cats talking about?" I just hadn't talked to y'all in a minute. I was like, "Let me catch up," but also like I was just curious, like, what are y'all doing? Like, what's up? And I think, man, that's some real gold right there, because I think oftentimes it's just getting started is the hardest part, like just moving your feet, right? And I think sometimes we want to be perfect. We're looking at this person and that person like, oh, we're in the credit industry. I don't know if any of you are in the credit industry. Some may say that it's oversaturated. I mean, there's credit repair agencies everywhere. There's solo, credit repair, like people are popping into this thing left and right. Like it's blowing up right now, especially in the Black community and the Hispanic community. Like, in minority communities, credit repair is a big deal. And so it's everybody's getting into the industry, and you can look at that and you can compare yourself to, some of the big names out there. I'm not going to call any of them. They know who they are, but you can look at some of the big names out there, like, right. You can look at Hundredfold, or you can look at whatever. You can be like, oh man, like they already killing, they already dominated. Like I know people who grew up in the same neighborhood as I grew up in, and they started credit repair companies not long before we got into this space. And you know what I'm saying? And I could have looked at that and I was like, oh, they already in my community. They already are communicating with my audience. So like maybe there's no opportunity for me there. But the interesting thing about business, or and not just business, it could be anything. Maybe you have a ministry that you want to start. Maybe you have a nonprofit idea that you want to launch out there. Maybe you want to start a community program, or maybe you have an idea for a book, or or whatever it is that you want to create. What I'm saying? Maybe you want to do something that's just never even been done, heard of, or thought of before. When you go out to do the thing that you want to do, the unique value proposition, right? Because that's something that you hear people talk about in business. Like, what's your unique value proposition? What differentiates you from every other credit repair company, or what differentiates you from every other business in your industry? You could come up with a whole bunch of textbook answers to answer that question, but at the end of the day, what really differentiates you is you. Like, you are your unique value proposition, because nobody's going to bring value like you bring it. The reason why 100-fold is blowing up is not just because, we are the best in credit repair. There are people who've been in this industry decades longer than us. The difference is who we are. It's the energy, it's the passion, it's our personality, it's the way we engage our audience, it's the way we take care of our customers. They come to us because of who we are. We're the unique value proposition, and nobody's ever going to service our customers the way we service them. Nobody's going to treat them the way we treat them. Nobody's going to talk to them the way we talk to them. Nobody's going to care about their personal goals the way we care about them, because this is just who we are, and nobody else can be us. So I would really encourage you, in getting started, shift your focus away from the other people who may be doing something similar. Yeah. Start to look at, what are my strengths, and just put one foot in front of the other. Just take a step, and you never know what might come back your way when you just take the first step.
Yeah.
Name the podcast, Just Get Started.
Right.
So look,
that's good. That's good.
This one is gonna be touchy. I don't think a lot of people really take into account what this part means when it comes to building a team, because sometimes when you do stuff, like, certain things are now just dropped on your plate, certain decisions now have to be made. How about managing your team?
I'm about to take a sip of water, but let me sit back up now.
And now that's another
podcast.
That's a whole other thing. You know what, man?
That's episode 5.
Yeah, is it right? You could do a master class on that. Is not an easy thing to do. But management starts in the recruiting process. When you recruit the right people, management becomes a whole lot easier. Right. So if you bring the wrong person on board, so that's why I've been in other, I've been in ministries that had the wrong people on board. I've been in businesses that had the wrong people on board. I've been, other organizations that just had the wrong people on board. And I think a lot of times is when you're getting started, you're just happy to see somebody that's excited about what you're excited about. And you don't really take time to survey the land. You don't really take time to count the cost. You don't really take time to evaluate, okay, is this a good fit, and does this make sense? And in my, I call myself a serial entrepreneur, and I've been studying business for a long time. And one of the things that I've learned about, high growth businesses and, these Silicon Valley startups, they are very relentless about hiring and firing. Right. They put you through vigorous interviews, multiple different rounds, like personality tests, assessments, because they want to really make sure that they get the right person in there. And even if you do make it through all of that, and you get in there and they realize 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, they're not getting the kind of results that they're looking for, they want you out of there, because the longer you have the wrong person on your team, the more detrimental it is to you in the long haul. Right. And the more costly it's going to be, because it takes time to recruit. It takes time to sit down and form relationships and connect with people, get to know them. And you know what I'm saying? You bring, like, if in a business standpoint, you got to train that person, and then you're paying that person while you're training them. They're not even producing any results yet, because they don't know how to produce results yet. So you got to train them. You got to get them. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of different risk that's involved with bringing somebody on your team. So I think from a managing a team standpoint, it starts with how you recruit, how you bring people on your team. Then when you have the right people on your team, I think you just have to invest in them. I think you have to try your best to understand how their personal goals and their personal aim meshes with the vision of your company. Right? Like if their personal vision and their personal passions don't gel with where your company's going, then they don't need to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like they, or maybe in the role that they're in, right? If the role that they're in is not something that they're passionate about or something that they really want to do, then maybe you need to figure out how to get them in another role or how to get them in something that they are passionate about. Because one thing I've learned about people, when people are passionate about something, bro, you don't have to encourage them. You don't have to motivate them. You don't have to cheer them on. Like when somebody's passionate about something, they just get up and do it. You know what I'm saying? Like my brother-in-law lives with us and the dude is passionate about soccer. You know what I'm saying? Like passion, like he don't miss a match. The dude can watch soccer for 6 hours out of a day, like because he's passionate about soccer and he can sit there, he can talk about it. He knows all the players and all the teams all around the world. Like that's just something that he's passionate about. What he's not passionate about is doing dishes. You know what I'm saying? He ain't about them dishes. Right. You know what I'm saying? So we got, hey, bro, you were supposed to do the dishes. What's up with them dishes? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes he'll be washing dishes with the soccer match on the cell phone, and he's like scrubbing the dishes, and because he's passionate about that. So I think a big part of management is making sure that you have people where they're supposed to be in doing something that they're passionate about, that they care about, because they're going to bring their full selves to that role.
No, Kel, I know you've had some experience as far as being on a team or having a teammate before.
So,
what do you have to say about that?
So I'm gonna kind of combat with it a little bit. I'll be honest with you. You are right, Kendall. I think I got two ways with it because when I was a general manager, I used to have the thought process of finding people who was passionate. When in certain industries, when you talk about managing the team, not everybody's gonna be passionate. Some people are gonna be there for a paycheck, right?
Sure.
So I used to always be in a battle in my mind because I used to be like, I have a business to run, but then they just here for a paycheck. So they're going to come do their job for their paycheck, right? Now, when you got a business like we have, it could be a little bit more passion involved in it, especially with, business partners and things like that. But we run a business as far as like in the restaurant world. I think when it comes to managing the team, you got to just take emotion out of everything. And I mean, that's in business too. I think you got to take emotion out and you got to do what's best interest for the company, the profit. So I was saying that to say, yeah, somebody might not be passionate, but if they're giving me quality work, you know what I mean? If they're giving me quality, they're on time, like they're doing things properly, I might bend a little bit in keeping them to be on my team than somebody that might be passionate but giving me terrible quality. You know what I'm saying? So it's a hard thing to manage, and that's when you get caught into
that's what I think we need to dig into that a little bit though, because I think it's hard for somebody to be passionate and not give you good quality. Like they ain't really passionate, bro. Like when somebody's actually passionate about something, right? When you really love what you do, and listen, we could talk about working at McDonald's, we could talk about being a waitress.
Who is passionate at McDonald's though?
No, nobody, right? Nobody's necessarily passionate. Nobody's necessarily. Hold on, listen. See, it's a perspective thing. It's a perspective thing because I've worked. You've worked in the restaurant industry. You know what I'm saying? So you've been there. I've worked in food service. I mean, that's what I did for the first 5-6 years of my working life was in food service or in retail. So you come across people who are just there. Hey, I just came here to clock in. I just came here and depending on the business that you're in, right? McDonald's can't afford to only hire people who are passionate about.
Well, that's what I said. Like in something like we have, you can.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So you also have to look at the business. Target can't afford to only have people that are excited about checking people out.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Right. But in those environments, you have people who are passionate about Target because they love Target. They have people who are passionate about Listen, my aunt worked for McDonald's for 25 years, was a GM, loved it. She loved McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? Now, do I believe she could have probably taken those same skills and done something different in a different organization, made way more money? She probably could have, but she had been in McDonald's since she was very young person. So, and that was a career for her, and she retired there. So I'm not saying that every single person is going to be passionate now, but it depends on what you're doing. Like most of our audience, you know, if you're starting a business, you probably are, you know, just getting started, or you're a small business owner. You know, if you got a small team of 3, 4, or 5, you can't afford to have anybody on your team that's showing up because they want a paycheck.
Oh, yeah. Correct.
You know
That's what I said. Like in
Yeah.
our field, in our industry, you could do it. But I would say like in a bigger industry, because like, you know, I worked construction, I have my own demolition company. I'm gonna tell you right now, cut and dry.
Dudes
Those
are up
guys
there.
ain't, man,
check.
look.
They want
These
to
the same guy. Look, they calling me at 7 in the morning talking about their stomach hurt and they got to go to work for 7 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
So,
No, and
you know,
that's the industry though. You also got to know your industry,
correct.
because the
So
construction industry, you know, you got
you
alcohol.
ain't get nobody passionate.
You know,
you ain't get nobody passionate. They might be
check.
passionate about their check so they can go get them a hit. I mean, let's just be real. And that's not knocking nobody. I'm not saying everybody in the construction industry. But when you had said it, I'm over here like, ooh, that's a tough topic. When you saying passionate, I'm like,
it doesn't apply to every situation, but for the average person in a small business, like that's what you after. That's what you're looking for.
But as when you say managing, if I'm gonna sit up here and say like what I want my employee to be, or what I want my team to be, or what I want my business partner to be, I want them to be passionate, right? So I do agree with you. That's why I say I agree with you, but then I don't. But let's exit out not being passionate. Let's focus on. Let's look at our company, right? Let's look at it so people can see a perspective from us, right? We all know what everybody does in our company, right?
Right.
Correct. So if I woke up and for everybody that's listening to us, I know y'all might be like, oh, whatever. I do most of the sales. I'm in the sales realm of things. These guys do a ton of other stuff. But if I was to wake up and I didn't make the post I make, or if I woke up and I didn't communicate or I didn't reach out to the customers, our company wouldn't be seen as it is now if I wasn't passionate about being into my seat that I sit into this company. And I feel the same way for you guys. If we're not passionate about it, things going to slip past us. So when you're saying a team, you do have to be passionate. I think you got to be loyal. I think you got to. It's a lot of things you have to be. You need to look for a team. But I would say passion is the biggest one, because when I think about take myself, and if I woke up and I was like, man, I gotta call these customers today. Like if I had that mindset going into, I wouldn't. And I'm not saying sell like I'm selling something. I'm saying like engaging with my customers, right? And we engage our clients. We have a service. So, and that goes for any industry. If you woke up with the mindset of saying like, I ain't really, man, I got to talk to these people today. You're not in the right field. You know what I mean? But I wake up, I'm like, how many people I got to talk to? Let's go. Let's get it. This morning, I was up at 5:30 this morning working. You know what I mean? I think I didn't go to bed till like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And it's just like, it's crazy because I'm passionate about what we do. And I think, I'm going to be honest, I'm not as much passionate, and this is on the record, mark me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I'm as much passionate about, everything, but I'm more passionate about how we're helping people. Like the results. That's what I'm passionate about. The result. Exactly. Like I'm passionate about what we're doing for our people. So
I wanted to say that too. Yeah, I wanted to say that. Like you might not necessarily be passionate about all the details.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you're passionate about the end result and the big picture, that should drive you to get the details done. Because it's not. I mean, I think all of us can agree. I know there are things about what I do for 100-fold that it's not my favorite thing in the world to do. You know what I'm saying? Kale has things that might not be his favorite aspects. You know what I'm saying? It's business. You're dealing with people. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with people, you got customers, you got people. Problems is problems. No matter what. Anything you do in business, there's always going to be problems. There's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be things to overcome. So you might not like sweeping the floor. You might not like cleaning.
I hate paperwork. I hate paperwork.
Yeah,
I hate signing stuff. I hate being organized. Like if you looked at my desk right now and y'all see like, I mean, you got papers, you got bottles. I hate being organized, but I have to, right? But what I'll be passionate about is like when I wake up, I'm like, okay, how many families can we bless today? How many families can I get into 100-fold that they can see the end result and be blessed? How many people, like we talked about in the beginning of the podcast, how many people can we say that we put into a home? Because now it's not about, we don't care about the number of people in our program. Now it's how many people we don't put in homes. You know what I'm saying? Like how many families got a home? How many families next Christmas is going to be able to sit there in their Christmas with the nice sofa, with the fireplace going and saying, man, you remember last year?
They get their gifts off layaway. They pay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Paying them cash or on credit and managing their credit properly. That's what I get passionate about. Like, man, like, okay, I started last year in the black rabbit hole. I didn't know what I was gonna do with my life. And then like here we are 10, 12 months later, and it's like I got a house, I got a car, I got credit, my kids not needing for nothing. I can go shopping and pay it back. I got a good job. Like these guys changed my family, generational wealth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then to be honest with y'all, us doing those things, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say, we're shortening the racial wealth gap because I've been on that heavy the last week.
Yeah.
Owning a home is something that's not done in the communities. So shortening the racial wealth gap is something that's really big to me in minorities. So owning a home and things of that nature that we're giving people, I think that's why I get passionate about and I go hard. So
yes, sir.
Yeah. No, I feel that. That was some good stuff right there. And next time we're gonna have to get on a little bit more about passion as far as now how do you actually control that thing and do it in a way that is actually healthy. But no, that was some good info. I love both of that. Another good thing though, as we done talked about a few times, credit rescue. So shout out to the sponsor, you know what I'm saying? Credit rescue. Again, and you guys heard us mention it all throughout the podcast already, but it's a very great, phenomenal program that we're actually getting results and getting people closer to the goals that they're trying to reach, whether it is home ownership, you know, or just whatever else they're trying to improve their credit for, to start a business or get a car, different things like that. So definitely, you know, check us out on there. How you can do that is on Facebook.
Oh, he's killing
we
it
got
tonight.
100-fold. we on Instagram at Live 100-fold, and we got the website www.live100fold.com. You know what I'm saying? You can check us out. We got free credit just analysis, just to kind of start you a consultation, see, you know, where you're at, if we're a good fit for one another, and we're gonna get you the results. You know what I'm saying? Sir. Now, so any extra thing on that?
Yeah, you know, I got something to say on that. Thank you all for who are following us, shares out. One thing I've noticed in our community, and that's what I'm gonna start calling, because I don't think we're clients. One thing I've noticed in our community is like it's a beautiful thing how others are sharing us out to help others, because sometimes with credit, you don't want people to know that you got bad credit or you're going to credit issues.
Right.
But we need to normalize us helping each other in this credit industry or even in finances together. It's okay to say you need help, right? Yep. Because if we can help you and we help your sister, your cousin, your auntie, your mom, your friend, now we all have houses. It's not one person got a house and it's like, girl, I got with this credit guy 8 months ago and he helped me out. And it's like, you should have put them on 8 months ago so they could be in the house by now. So look, share it out, follow us on these platforms, and just get the value and knowledge from us, you know?
Yes, sir. From the GOAT himself.
The GOAT, the credit GOAT.
Hey, bad. Putting up 60, baby. Putting up 60.
That's what's up. So as we begin to make this exit, any other parting words for the fam out there?
Yeah, man, I just want to continue to just 100-fold. Thank you guys for you know, being a part of this community. Thank you for supporting the podcast. You know, and then definitely give us feedback, guys. We want to know how y'all enjoying the podcast, what resonated with you. You know what I'm saying? We gave the challenge in the podcast last week, you know, so definitely, you know, we want to see you guys interacting with us. And, you know, we want to just keep growing this thing, man. Let us know how we can help you. Let us know what kind of value that we can provide. Let us know what questions you have, what burning things you want to know, whether it's about credit, whether it's about personal finances, whether it's about our company or us as individuals. You know, we're here to invite you guys on the journey. We want y'all to take this walk with us. So connect with us.
Kale?
Steward the opportunity, man. I've been on that for the last couple of weeks. I think that's the biggest thing that we all need to do is steward the opportunity that we have in front of us. So stewardship, man. I'm on that. I'm staying on that. I got it from ET. I ain't coined it myself, but it's in the Bible, man. Steward the opportunity, man.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right. Well, again, thank you guys for tuning in with us and rocking with us. And like I always say, knowledge is not power, but the application of knowledge, that's where that power is at. So again, from Kale Kendall, Keontae, hey, we'll holla at you guys.
Just do it, huh? Just do it. That's all I'm gonna say. Just do it. I like that.